Now, you may notice that today's video looks a little bit different compared to my usual, and that is because while I was editing my most recent House Flipper recording, which is episode 14, I ran into a little bit of an issue because I was trying something new. So by the time this video actually comes out with this software, I would have already uploaded the House Flipper video. So you'll see the something new if you go and watch it. I'll leave a link to the video down below, but the issue I ran into was I was trying to do a split screen in Kdenlive. Now, Kdenlive is the software that I use to edit and render my videos. I am still learning how to do it, but yeah, the specific version I am using is this version 24.12.3. Now, I don't know how to compare it to older versions because I've never used an older version. I've only started using Kdenlive since my channel started, and to be honest, I'm not a software expert. As I say, I'm still learning the software. So for those of you who need to know this, the version I'm using is that. But yeah, I basically ran into an issue in that I couldn't get it to do a split screen vertically across here without losing half of the videos, because I wanted to show my before tour and my after tour as like a comparison. So as a result, it took me a good half an hour Googling to find something somewhat relevant, but I had to edit the way that they did it to get it to be the way I wanted. As plenty of YouTube tutorials out there showing how to do vertical split screen, how to do horizontal split screen, but when I tried it, I was losing half my video. So I am acknowledging that probably someone has already covered this topic, but for the sake of it, I'll show you the video that I watched that initially showed me what to do. So as you can see, this is my screen. It's a YouTube screen. So the video I watched, I googled 2 ways to create split screens. This is what the video is called: 2 ways to create a split screen or quad screens in Kdenlive. Now, he's using an older version. As you can see, this video was from a year ago, but this guy gave me the initial tutorial of how to do a horizontal, but I wanted a vertical, so I had to jiggle things around a little bit. But yeah, please do go check out this video. It is awesome. I'll link it down below if you want like a more in-depth and like on how to do lots of different things. He was great. So I will preface this by saying my tutorial is based off the knowledge I gained from him. So yeah, go check them out. He sounds lovely, honestly. He's great for tutorials. But yeah, back into Kdenlive. So what you had to do was, first of all, you need to have your 2 clips. Now, I've just taken, these are the raw files I've not rendered, because the split screen version I saw only did it for the, for vertical, only did it for a clip with no volume. So unfortunately, you are going to have to put up with my annoying voice. But if you already watch my content, that's not too much of an issue. But what you have to do first and foremost is you have to separate your 2 clips. You can see how all of these are highlighted orange. That means they're grouped. So you ungroup them by right-clicking on your mouse and clicking ungroup, or clicking Control-Shift-G. I prefer to do it through the mouse. And then after you've done that, for both clips, you can now move each individual piece on its own. So just make sure you don't lose whichever bit goes to which clip. So like your audio tracks down here, I prefer to label them, but as just a small caveat as well, just make sure you go into your project and project settings and make sure you set the project to the to the format that you want to render it. So I usually do 30 FPS just because I capture House Flipper on a PlayStation. So I usually go for 1080p 30 FPS because the PlayStation outputs to that level. So that's what I'm going to set it as, and it's going to say changing the profile project cannot be undone. So it recommends that you continue and then you save. So then you save it. But because I've already done that before, obviously it will tell me to input a name for the file, but I've already named my file up here. So after you've ensured that your clips are separated and that your project is at the format that you want it to be, the next thing to do is to name your tracks. So I always shift one video up to the top, and as you can see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 audio tracks. However, I've only got 2 on this side. Yeah, that was just loading in, so don't panic. It's just taking its minute to load in. As you can see up here, it says pasted clips, and that shows you that these are still loading a little bit. But yeah, so as I've got 4 separate tracks, what I actually want to do is label this track here, if it will let me, there we go, as voice. I believe this is my voice from the raw, and this one as game sound. I'm trying to type properly because usually I just type gibberish into these, so hopefully I spelt them all right, because usually I don't bother. And then because I've got an extra clip up here, I want to make sure that these clips are kept together. So what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to hover over the voice, highlight it, then right click to insert a track. So the track I'm going to click is an audio track. Now as default it inserts it underneath, however I want to insert it above, because I'm going to name this as voice for clip 2. Now obviously this clip over here is clip 2. So now what I can do is I can stick this audio track in here, and I promise this will make sense in a minute. And then for the same thing, I want to have an insert a track again. I want to insert it above, and I've actually accidentally clicked the wrong one, so I'm just going to make sure I insert it above voice. So I'm going to put game sound for clip 2. Easy labels to follow for my brain because my brain is silly. Now I've got here 2 different video tracks. This comes as default, so I don't need to add any more video clips, video tracks. However, if you have additional videos, you will need to add additional video clips, and it's the same process as before. You right click on the track once it's highlighted, insert track, and then you just make sure that you select video track, and then you can choose where it is. But obviously I don't need to do that, but if you did, you just put your track name in here and you click OK. And then I'm going to label this one clip 1, or just clip, because I haven't actually labeled this clip. But as you can see, this is House Flip episode 14, and this is just a random raw clip because I hadn't actually named this clip before I loaded it into Kdenlive. As I'm literally doing this as I finished editing the video. So what you need to do in order to do a vertical split screen it sounds complicated, but I promise you it's quite simple. So first things first, you want to slide your 2 clips so they have one above the other. So obviously that's clip 2, that's clip 1. So this is my after tour and this is my before tour. Now for the sake of simplicity, I am going to actually cut this clip down because as you can see, it's actually significantly longer than my before tour. So I'm just going to cut this down. So actually what I might just label these as well, just to make it a bit more clear, as after tour and before tour. There we go, just to make things a little bit more clear. And as you can see, these are obviously the files from the after tour. So what I'm going to do is slip this into clip 2 for voice and slip this into clip 2 for game sound. Now obviously if you prefer to have them the other way around, that's perfectly okay, but I'm also going to just cut these down as well, seeing as I cut the first one down in order to make it roughly the same length. So obviously my voice will cut off just randomly when I do the demonstration, but yeah, I didn't explain how to cut. You just right click on it once it's highlighted and scroll down to cut clip, and then you just, I prefer to just select it with my this is my first time a tutorial, as you can tell, but yeah. So once I cut the clip, I just prefer to left click on it to select it and then just click delete on my keyboard. But you could right click, say for example on here, and click delete selected item if you prefer to do it that way. It's just all personal preference. So after you've got this set up, the next thing I like to do is hold shift on my keyboard and left click the corresponding clip to the audio tracks. Now the reason why I'm the reason why I'm pressing shift is because then it will select multiple, because then I can right click again and group the tracks. So this way now when I move them, they move together. So if you're wondering why I ungroup them just to group them again, it is because it means I have more flexibility to move the tracks about before I group them again. Because once you group them, obviously because all of them move together, you've got to have enough space to manipulate them all. So yeah, and then I'm going to do this again for my before tour. So I'm just going to select its corresponding ones, right click and group the clips again. After you've done all of that, I promise you, you don't have to do any of this bit. This is just for organisation, so I will label it as organisation. I'm just going to do a quick save. I've just clicked Control S to do that, but if you wish to save, go to File and then click down here, or if you want to change the name, click Save As, or you can even save it as a copy if you want to have a backup copy before you attempt to do this. I don't need to because I've already done it before. So now we need to get on to how we do the split screen, because obviously we've done the setup. So what you need to do first and foremost is go into, is to select the clip you want on the left and go to Effect. So now it's time to do the actual split screen effect for your video. So what I prefer to do is go up to here where it says Effects. And then I prefer to search because sometimes it can be a bit difficult to find it, and the term you're searching for is position and zoom. So if I just type in zoom because I'm lazy, this is the one that you are looking for. Now you want to apply this to either clip, it doesn't particularly matter, but you only apply it to one of them. So I'm going to apply it to clip 1 because I want this to be on the left hand side. So as you can now see, because I've selected the clip by left clicking and it's highlighted, you can see up here I've now got this red outline on my box. That's just telling me that it is highlighted. So what you need to do for these settings is you need to click Distort and Normalize. Leave these as these are because I didn't touch them. The tutorial that I followed in that video didn't touch them, so just click them. And he goes on to tell you how to do it for width. Now I want to do it for not for he shows you how to do it horizontally. Now I want to do it obviously vertically. So what you do for that is you get your width size and you half whatever your size is. So obviously my size here is 1920, so half of that is 960. And as you can see now it's showing up as half a box. Don't worry, this will be fine when you actually do all the steps. So if you wish to change where it aligns itself, whether that's left, the center or right, or however you wish to change it, use these buttons. Now I'm not going to change it because it automatically centers itself on the left, and that's where I want this clip to be. However, should you wish to change it, this is the settings that you would use. And always do a save. Every time you add an effect, I do a save because you never know when something might crash. The next thing you are looking for is a term called transform. Now this will be applied to your second clip. Transform down here. Or alternatively, you can right click if you don't want to search for it and go insert effect, transform here. So I'm just going to click this and I'm going to drag it over to clip 2. Now, as you can see, it is now selected clip 2 up here as your main view. Whereas before, if I clicked on this, it would show me this clip. It's showing there, it's highlighted a box that this clip is on this side. So now I've got this clip, it's selected the whole thing. However, you don't want it to have the whole thing, you only want it to have half. So once again, you go over to scale and you type in whatever half your width scale is, so 960. And again, you click Distort. Leave it as Alpha Blend, and I always leave it as Rotate from Center. I don't touch any other settings. And obviously, because I don't want it to be shorter in height, I'm not touching anything else. Now, as I will say, some people will adjust the Y and the X, but for doing just a straight vertical split screen, you don't have to touch either of these settings. The easiest way to get a clip to go over to either side is just to use these, and it will automatically adjust the position. But should you not want to use these buttons, if you want it to go either left or right, just adjust the X axis. But as I say, these buttons just do it automatically. So just to clarify, originally it was over to the left, so it looked like this. All I did was go down to here and click Align, Align Right. And there you go. You've got 2 separate videos now playing. So I'm just going to put it back to the start to show you what it would look like and go on to full screen mode for you. This is now what it should look like if it runs. And here we are.
Okay, are we all ready for the final reveal of this place? So, as you come in, you can see there is a marked difference in what the place looked like.
As you can see, I've got both videos playing, and obviously I've got both audio playing at the same time because they are aligned with their collective clips. Should you not want to hear, say, the audio for the before tour, all you'd have to do is either mute its corresponding clip, which would be this one, or you could just find your clip again and ungroup them by right-clicking and then clicking ungroup and deleting the track should you not want that specific track. Or say you have multiple videos in a row, so you have an additional video here and here and here that you want to go and continue to be split screen, but you just don't want this entire row of audio. You just select it, right-click and delete the track. So then it will come up with the menu and you can pick multiple tracks you want to delete at the same time. I'm just going to delete A5 because that was just an obsolete track that's got nothing on it. But say I didn't want that volume and I didn't want my voiceover for the before tour, but just for my second one, my after tour for clip 2, all you'd have to do is that. And once again, when I play, as you can see, it is playing both of them simultaneously. And that is how you do a vertical split screen. Should you want to add additional embellishments, so if you want to add before or after or some text on the top, what I do is I simply insert another video track, I label it text, just so I know what it is, and I go over to the project bin. I click on this little button up here and I click the down arrow, and then you can go add title clip. And then you can choose whether you want to have the background visible or not when you're writing your title clip, or if you want to add any shapes in. They are also on here as an option up here. This is shapes. So should you want to add your text, you just left click and then type in your text before. And then you just click off it so it highlights it as a separate thing. There you go, you've got it. You can adjust to where you want it. And then all of these are your text options. So if you want it underlined, or if you want it slightly larger or a different font, you just use all of these options. And then when you're done, you just click create title. And then if you want to apply it to the video, on both videos, you just add it in here. You just stick it on top, and as I play, you can see it will just say before in the same position. So yeah, I think that would conclude today's tutorial. If you have enjoyed, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It might not be the most professional tutorial, but I felt that it was maybe necessary for people who are using Kdenlive and have had the same issue I have with not being able to find a vertical split screen that protects both videos. Obviously, with it being vertical, they do look slightly more squished because they obviously can't take up the whole space they normally would, but it's a small sacrifice to make sure that both videos are visible. If you have enjoyed, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next week. Bye for now.